Hello YouTube, welcome back to Ben Goes Electric, and in today's video we've got a little bit of Tesla news, just a short one. So it looks like in China, Tesla is set to launch the 6-seater Model Y called the Model Y L. I'll have some pictures up on the screen at the moment. So it looks like Tesla on the Weibo platform in China shared some preview images of a new Model Y that you can see now, but they didn't specify what model this was. And later on, the China Ministry of Industry and Information Technology released a new catalogue today with the Model Y L included. This goes after all the leaks and rumours about a 6-seater model, so not a 7-seater. This has only got 6 seats. So some information about the car compared to the standard Model Y. So this one measures a length of 4,976 millimeters, comparing that to the current standard Model Y of 4,797. The width remains the same, 1,920 millimeters, but the height is a slight increase to 1,668 millimeters compared to 1,624. So it looks like it's got a little bit more height than the standard Model Y, and obviously the length and the wheelbase, which is what makes all the difference, is looking about 3,040 millimeters compared to the standard Model Y of 2,890. So again, information is quite limited at this time, but it looks like this is the dual motor, so the all-wheel drive long-range model. So motor on the front, motor on the rear. Looks like it's going to be generating about the same output, so no change in there. So again, it's probably a bigger car, so expect slightly slower performance, but it's still a fast car. Looks like the battery is going to be supplied via the LG from South Korea as well. And it doesn't seem to be a lot of changes on the actual kind of what's powering it, like I've said. No news about if the battery sizes are bigger, because obviously the wheelbase is bigger, you can fit a bigger battery pack. No news on that either, but stick around. Hopefully we'll get that details soon. And it looks like the price, if you convert it to dollars, you're looking around about $55,000. So again, in the UK, probably expect about £55,000. So it's, step just above the standard Model Y, as you'd expect. So the long range or wheel drive, obviously it's a bigger car with extra seats. So I think, this has all just kind of come down to the Chinese market is obviously very saturated, and so Tesla need to stand out and offer a 6-seat configuration of the Model Y or 7 seats, as other car manufacturers are offering that. So if you remember, that obviously the outgoing Model Y did come as a 7-seat option, but it was not, unless you were a very small child, it was not a usable 7-seater. And if you wanted the 7 seats, or more than obviously 5 seats, you'd have to step up to the larger Model X, which also has a big jump up in the cost. So that obviously wasn't available to everybody. So it looks like they've decided yet to go down the 6-seat layout. So you're going to have 2 seats at the front as normal, but then in the middle of the car, or the old rear, you'll have 2 seats, and then at the back you'll also have another 2 seats. So it looks like the middle will be a cut through, so you can, that's the best way to go through to the back. You don't have to actually pull down the seats, but again, more information will come at the when it's available. So we'll have a look at a few images. So we'll start off, you can see this is the front of the car. Obviously big standouts are the wheels. The wheels seem to be a completely different design. Looks like kind of aero covers, but nothing that the standard Model Y you currently get has. And I probably obviously put them on the smaller size, so they're probably the 19-inch. So yeah, so they could just be a new aero covers, but I think the actual design of the wheels, they're not going to pop onto the standard aeros that you can get. So possibly an exclusive wheel for the 6-seater option. Obviously this image, you've got the Tesla badge, because in China they still have the actual Tesla logo on the front of the car, just for, to show off the brand, because that market is so saturated. But if this does come to other markets, expect that to obviously have no badge like we currently have. At the front, doesn't look like there's any more differences. But if you look on the inside, they seem to be different seats. They kind of look more like the performance seats that you'd find in the Model 3 Highland Performance. But obviously, they don't actually have any performance badging because it's not a performance Model Y, it's just a normal Model Y. So that's, yeah, different to see. They could be completely different or the same, but that's all we've kind of got to go off. Whether or not that's an option or that's the standard, we, again, yet to know. So that's a bit different. I haven't actually got, there's no pictures of the inside of the car, sadly, at this moment in time. But of course, over time, hopefully, we'll see more of inside the car. You look at this side image, it's obviously a bit darker. I think just to give it more atmosphere. But you can see, especially when you're looking at the roof line, it is considerably larger. You can really tell the difference in the length. And same, obviously, the gap in the wheels, you can just see. But other than that, the doors all seem the same size, but it does seem longer. So the sloping roof isn't going to cut into headspace as much as the current one does if you just stuck some extra seats in at the back. And looking at the rear of the car, a few differences here. You can see, obviously, the Model Y logo. Obviously, you've got the Y, but you've got kind of like 2 extra lines out the side of it, which I think just kind of show it's stretched, like the actual Y is stretched, given obviously it's a stretched Model Y. So that's kind of cool to see. Again, the Chinese characters above are standard in the Chinese market, but if it was to come over here, obviously you wouldn't have that. And also the difference is it seems to have a kind of spoiler on the boot lid, which again it's weird because you've got obviously the performance looking seats, and you've also got the spoiler. You would think possibly is this the performance as well, but again we've not really seen the performance. But I guess it seems they're gonna kind of carry over some elements of the performance. If you're paying a slightly premium price, possibly that you're gonna get that spoiler and the new seats, or possibly you can also get the Model Y L in the performance trim. So maybe we're actually seeing both the performance leaks and also the Model Y L. So this is quite exciting to see at the moment. Again, this is set to launch in China out of the Shanghai factory this fall, so autumn. And possibly we will see it across the other Tesla factories, so obviously opening up the markets worldwide, including here in the UK. And again, because we've not had the Model X refresh, the one that came out in around about 2022, it's actually quite good to see, a larger Tesla, even though it's not the new Model X. It's good to see that we are going to get a high capacity Tesla that's going to have obviously a lot more space than the old outgoing Model Y when that had the 7-seater option. Of course, this is only 6, not a 7-seater. There's nothing to say that a 7-seater is possible or isn't possible, but this at the moment is just the 6-seater. So yeah, it's good to kind of see, but yeah, it's the thinking about obviously the seats and the spoiler at the back. Is it possible that the 6-seater is only available in a performance trim instead of all the other trims? Be interesting to see. Considering, the Model X Plaid that's available in the US only comes as a 6-seater. So is it possible that the performance will only be the 6-seater? So, there's not going to be a 5-seat performance, it's only going to be 6, or whether it's going to have 6 seats version across the range, so all the way from rear wheel drive all the way up to obviously performance, you'll be able to kind of configure the 6 seats, or it's just going to be its set own trim, which only becomes in the performance motors and styling with the seats and the spoiler. So that will be interesting to see if we can learn some more. And the other thing to mention is, if you look at the images, is the colour. It doesn't seem to be any colour available, especially in the UK market, or any other market. It looks a bit different. It looks different than Quicksilver. It has a completely kind of different kind of tone to it. It's I don't want to say browny, but it's a bit more all beigey. They're not good colours to describe it, but it's not as silvery. It could just be the lighting, but it definitely seems to be a different colour. Again, whether that's exclusive to the Asia market, like they've got the that blue colour, the glacier blue, or not, will be interesting to see. But if it is hinting about the performance differences as well, That will be interesting to see, because if you compare it to obviously the Model 3 Highlands performance trim, where you've got completely different front bumper and rear diffuser, but this just seems to be the old way of just adding a spoiler and the seats. But it's hard to know, yeah, because, you know, if you're looking in at the seats, you know, usually you can see it's got the performance badging, but it doesn't. And of course, you haven't got the performance badge on the back either. You've just got the new Model Y with the 2 dashes. So again, you kind of got performance styling, but it might not be the full performance. It might just be a dual motor. Again, time will tell. Well, guys, that was just a quick look at the latest news at the new 6-seater Model Y L, as you can see. Hopefully it will come to the UK, and if I ever get more news on it, of course, I will make a video and you'll be the first ones to know about it. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, comment, you know what to do. And hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Thank you very much, guys. See ya.